With the COVID-19 story, in her speech, the Minister of Health accused the private sector of failing to adhere to the standard operating procedures that the ministry had put in place to prevent the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. She also listed some of the companies where employees had tested positive for the coronavirus. Now, to speak to us about this and more, we are joined by Dr. Gideon Badagawa, the Executive Director of the Private Sector Foundation in Uganda. A very good evening, Mr. Gideon Badagawa. How are you doing this evening?
Good evening to you, Romeo, and a very good evening to our viewers out there.
First of all, Gideon, you and I know very well that the private sector is the biggest loser in case of a lockdown. So what are you and other groups doing to prevent another lockdown or by forcing these companies to adhere to the set directives?
I think, Romeo, it has been made clear by government the standard operating procedures have been given to everyone in this country. The private sector, civil society, but also government. Every one of us is concerned alike. So what we need to do is to observe strictly the standard operating procedure. What we have observed recently is that there is too much complacence in the public, in the marketplace, in the public arena. Everyone is doing their things the way they like. And quite likely, if we are not careful, we may certainly have to go back where we have come from. So today, we are seeing increasing cases of infections. We are seeing now deaths. We used to boast around that we did not have a death at all. Now we are beginning to record deaths. So it dawns on us now as Ugandans to ensure that we follow strictly the standard operating procedure. There is no reason why someone leaves their home and they get into the public, on the road, in the marketplace, in the offices, everywhere, without a mask on. There is no reason why people should actually not wash hands with soap everywhere. In arcades, these gadgets have been installed. In offices, these gadgets have been installed. But the attitude, the complacence is so high. So quite likely, we may have to get back to where we're coming from. And this is not only for the private sector. And I think, yes, the minister might be right to say private sector is being complacent. But I've seen people campaigning, and they are in masses of people without masks. Now, this is not just about the private sector. It's all of us. So every time you go out without a mask, you are not sanitizing, you are not observing the standard operating procedure. You are causing infection. And this might be a family member, it might be a relative, it might be a workmate, whatever. So Ugandans must learn to comply with standard operating procedures. And this is the plea that we are making from the private sector foundation.
Now, Gideon, apart from a lockdown, how can government prevent the spread of COVID-19 while also protecting the economy?
So I think there are two things here, Romeo. The two things that we are looking at in terms of the economy. One is the health of the people. Because the people matter a lot to this country. They are the employers, they are the employees, they are the workers, they are the people that we plan for. So people must be alive for us to plan for them. So the first thing, and I really want to appreciate and thank government, the leadership of His Excellency the President, the first thing is survive. Make sure that people are alive. Avoid death. Avoid new infection. This is what we are saying. Protect our people from the rage of death. So that is the first thing. If you are going to have resilience of the economy, people must be alive. There must be health. Then two, businesses must be resuscitated. But that is after people are alive. So we are looking at businesses that are going to employ people. Because if businesses die, then you will not have people employed, you will not have incomes, you will not grow the economy. So two things that must be focused. One, survival of our people, and two, resuscitation of the businesses, especially the small and medium enterprises, because these are the ones that are actually anchoring the economy today. But that comes secondary, the lives of our people. So testing, protection, avoiding any new infections really must be a challenge for all of us. And I want to thank the stewardship of government and the national task force that they have played in this regard.
Dr. Gideon Badagawa, the Executive Director of the Private Sector Foundation in Uganda. Many thanks for having made the time to speak to NTV Uganda.
Thank you very much, and good evening, viewers.
All right.